Climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter.
Should I have not left my stuff?
Justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now.
Where are we going?
People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now. People gonna rise like the water, gonna calm this crisis down. Hear the voice of my great-granddaughter saying climate justice now.
Hundreds of people gathered here for the Davis McGill's Diploma returning ceremony. Yeah. Although it should be
Just like wait till it's kind of like started down here.
guys should make sure that like this.
Okay. I know. I just took off my jacket.
I need to take off mine too.
I know. So. Yeah.
It's good because I'll keep the mic and then I have the...
Yeah, I just love that.
Well, no, it's going to be so Daniel, after you speak, come over here to me, okay? Because he's last, and then I'll go with my mic so
Hello, McGill! We are students of McGill University who spent the last week peacefully sitting in at the office of Principal Suzanne Fortier because the planet deserves better from our administration.
After meeting with Principal Fortier for the first time in 2 years, we are dismayed at her unwillingness to meaningfully engage with us on climate justice.
It is clear from our conversations that Suzanne Fortier and the McGill administration refuse to take a stand against the catastrophic impacts of the fossil fuel industries.
As the McGill administration buries its head in the tar sands, people across the country are taking action for climate justice.
After we started our sit-in, the University of Toronto's administration demonstrated their fear of people power by locking down their own administration building.
Also this week, divestment activists at UVic crashed the Board of Governors meeting to call for serious action against fossil fuels.
Today, as part of coordinated fossil fuels actions across the country, Divest Dalhousie stages their own sit-in at their principal's office.
While Suzanne Fortier refuses to acknowledge the devastating impacts of climate change, countless other groups on campus are stepping up to show their overwhelming support.
Fossil fuel divestment has been endorsed by the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Law, the Department of Integrated Education, the McGill School of Environment, campus unions like AMUSE and UNACA, SMU, PGSS, NCSS, AUS, dozens of departmental associations, over 150 professors, over 250 alumni, and over 2,500 signatories. We act in solidarity with all these groups, calling for climate justice now! We pledge to continue taking direct action for climate justice. We pledge to continue drawing attention to issues the university administration wants to ignore.
We pledge to never give up until McGill divests from the fossil fuel industry.
We pledge to continue fighting until McGill's actions are, we pledge to continue fighting, I'm very nervous, until McGill's actions are in hand with their so-called values.
We pledge to be on the right side of history.
We pledge to fight for a just transition to a carbon-free energy infrastructure.
We pledge to continue our activism cognizant of the rights of Indigenous communities and the struggles of other activists across campus.
We pledge that, in standing our ground, we will remain as respectful as the situation warrants so that untargeted bystanders of our actions continue to feel safe and supported.
We pledge to persist in direct action so we don't have to return our diplomas when we graduate.
Okay, if I go behind here. Hello, everyone. I'm so honored to be here with you today, and so proud of our wonderful warriors who were upstairs for 4 days. So I have a little speech here prepared. It's okay.
So I wanted to start by acknowledging that we are currently standing on unceded Kanye Kehaka traditional territory. In recognizing that this space occupies colonized First Nations territories, we must honor, protect, and sustain this land as it sustains us. We're here today because last September, two notable alumni of McGill, Karel Méran and Camille Bouchard, launched a campaign to return their diplomas to McGill because they were shocked and ashamed by McGill's decision concerning divestment. Since then, more alumni have joined them in feeling that McGill has failed its community and has failed the world that its students and professors spend their time studying. Climate change is not only a scientific issue, it is societal, philosophical, psychological, and political. Divestment is a move towards creating the political will required to bring about the changes that must happen if we are to avert catastrophic climate chaos. So this is our official goal, being part of Divest McGill. But having spent 2 years working with this committed group of people within this powerful movement, I've realized that deep down we're driven by something a little bit less tangible. We're guided and encouraged by love. Love for those on the front lines, already facing the ravages of climate change and the abuses of fossil fuel companies. Love for the land, water, and life forces that we rely on so completely. And also a love for each other, for the bravery that each of the people taking part in this fight have shown. The alumni here present will be returning the diplomas to the administration. But since no one has come to receive these important, precious documents and acknowledge the position of these alumni, there's an empty chair where Principal Fortier should be. So if I could ask all of the alumni who are taking part to come here, like in this space. I wanted that to be the space, but we're doing a reverse graduation, so that's the direction we'll be going when we return the diplomas. First we have Camille Bouchard, who's returning his doctorate of philosophy.
McGill, 1974, it's a long time ago. Je suis touché, extrêmement honoré d'être devant vous aujourd'hui pour participer à ce mouvement pour que McGill puisse investir du pétrole. J'ai eu et j'aurais eu un attachement profond pour McGill. C'est une institution que j'ai aimée profondément. J'ai passé 4 ans fabuleux. Mais désormais, je ne me sens plus capable de représenter McGill dans mes activités professionnelles ou autres. Je retirerai donc aussi, aux côtés de mon nom, PhD McGill 1974, jusqu'à ce que McGill change sa politique et désinvestisse du pétrole. Merci à tous d'être là.
Merci beaucoup. Vous pouvez le déposer sur la chaise là, toute seule. Okay. Maintenant, on a Karel Méran pour vous parler.
Merci. I had prepared some notes in English, but this is more emotional than I expected, so I'll switch to French. It's easier for me. Wrong language, wrong size, wrong. OK. Je suis arrivé à l'université McGill en 1991. J'ai grandi dans une ville où presque personne parlait français. Et quand j'ai choisi de venir ici, c'était un peu comme, pour moi, c'était comme gravir l'Everest. J'ai toujours été très fier de ce diplôme-là parce que c'était quelque chose qui m'a demandé énormément d'efforts. Quand j'ai reçu mon diplôme en juin 1994, à la cérémonie des grades à la salle Wilfrid Pelletier, à la Place des Arts, le conférencier invité, c'était Elie Wiesel. qui était un survivant des camps de la mort, et qui avait dit une chose très importante. Il avait dit, le contraire de l'amour, c'est pas la haine, le contraire de l'amour, c'est l'indifférence. L'indifférence devant la souffrance humaine, l'indifférence devant l'injustice. Et il nous avait dit, quand vous recevez ce diplôme-là, ça vient avec une responsabilité, la responsabilité de ne jamais être indifférent. Et pour moi, cette phrase-là est encore plus importante que tout ce que j'ai appris à l'université, parce que ce que ça signifie, c'est que quand on a reçu une éducation, quand on a des connaissances, quand on sait, on ne peut pas ignorer les choses. L'Université McGill, en ce moment, a choisi d'ignorer, soit ignorer la science du climat. Je pense pas que c'est ce que l'université fait. Je pense que l'Université McGill reconnaît la science du climat. Mais l'université a choisi d'ignorer les impacts éthiques des conclusions de la science. Et pour moi, c'est impossible de continuer d'être associé avec mon alma mater si cette université continue de nier, de fermer les yeux devant les enjeux éthiques soulevés par ces investissements et de fermer les yeux devant la souffrance et l'injustice. Alors moi aussi, comme Camille et comme les autres, je vais remettre mon diplôme aujourd'hui. Merci.
Thank you. Next we have Juliana Juho.
So close to saying my last name right. So I have a joint honors degree in international development and political science. I really enjoyed my time at McGill as well, and I would love nothing more than to be proud of this institution, but it has become clear that we absolutely can't be. The students that I worked with here taught so much, but all the administration has taught me that no matter how many bureaucratic channels you go through, you will not see justice until we have a change in our system and a change in the way we operate. I think it's really, really shameful that McGill completely ignored the fact that our report detailed the impact on indigenous communities that fossil fuel industries cause. In their 15-page report, which responded to our 150-page report, not once did they address the fact that fossil fuel industries continue to rip away the rights of indigenous folks in Canada and around the world. Shame. And for that reason, I no longer want to be associated with this administration, so I will be giving back my diploma as well.
Thank you. Maintenant, on a Luc Palardo.
Oui, bonjour tout le monde. Hi, folks. I graduated from McGill in 1996. And in environmental engineering. I was proud. Now I'm also proud today because I'm part of a movement of students and graduates that want to divest, and it's time for a change. It's time to take action and to start a process to divest. This won't happen in a minute, but it will happen, I hope, and we all hope, in the next year. If you agree with me, clap your hands. So it's time for a haircut for the industry, time to cut some of the investment that are going on in the tar sands industry. So today I'm also joining to give back my diploma. Thank you.
Next we have Sam Quigley.
Sam Quigley, Bachelor of Arts, 2015 in English Lit. I wrote something this morning. So I left McGill about a year ago and moved away from Montreal 6 months ago. Obviously, I was very angry after last week's decision. And I've been following along with this action on Twitter all week, and it's been amazing. I've gotten no work done in my office. But yeah, I don't know. It blows my mind that this small group of 6 out-of-touch administrators truly think they're smarter and better equipped to speak for the McGill community on this question than the Faculty of Arts, the Faculty of Law, the Faculty of Education, thousands of petition signers, SMU, PGSS, UNACA, and so many more. I could go on and on about the absurdity of the decision and the worthless report that came out with it, but I'm not going to bother, because last night, when I walked back into campus for the first time in 6 months, I was struck by something much bigger and much more important. Well, first of all, I was struck by a wall of really loud music. And I'll just put it this way, there is a badass concert going on in the middle of campus, really loud, on a Thursday night, with a tent city set up with people sleeping here, and a sit-in going on in Principal Fortier's office. I don't even know if the admin knows what to do anymore. There are so many badass, powerful people working on this campaign, and honestly, I couldn't be more proud to return my diploma in support of that and in support of that. Even if I'm simultaneously sad to hand it back after such a terrible decision and failure by McGill, the pride, hope, and inspiration that I feel watching this group of incredible people far outweighs that. And after last night, I have no doubt that we're going to win this thing.
Hello everyone, my name is Judge Burkett. Class of 68. I feel like a bit of an imposter here. I do have my degree, but by the time I graduated I was so disgusted I never even bothered to go pick it up. So, anyhow, 68 was a very good year. We too gave them a lot of headaches, mostly about the war in Vietnam. But that war was far away. The climate war is right here, every day. After years of organizing, we helped stop that faraway war and even forced the US president to resign. Here too, we will succeed with divestment. Unfortunately, history is on our side once again. Climate change is a life and death crisis. It is here, it is everywhere, and it is right now. McGill governors, it's the hydrocarbons, stupid. What don't you understand? 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 Good, you're still awake. The time for further studies and bureaucratic delays is long past. The scientific evidence is more than clear. It is stark. Climate change is happening much faster than previously thought, even 5 years ago. 80% of the hydrocarbon reserves must stay in the ground. This is especially true for extreme forms of oil such as the tar sands. The tar sands, the most insane project in the world, must be closed. The sooner the better. Given the overwhelming evidence as well as the business case for divestment, the Rockefeller Family Fund is divesting 100% from all fossil fuels. Coal, conventional oil, and tar sands. And they want to do it as quickly as possible. As you may know, John D. Rockefeller was the founder of Standard Oil, which eventually became ExxonMobil, that model corporate citizen we love so much. Here's their divestment announcement to the media, and by the way, it's free advice to the financial illiterates at McGill. Here it is. Is anyone listening? Okay, so this is what the Rockefeller Family Fund says. Quote, while the global community works to eliminate the use of fossil fuels, it makes little sense financially or ethically to continue holding investments in these companies. There is no sane rationale for companies to continue to explore for new sources of hydrocarbons. It goes on. Needless to say, the Rockefeller family has had a long and profitable history investing in the oil industry, including ExxonMobil. But history moves on as it must. McGill governors, is anyone listening? History moves on as it must. The statement continues. Indeed, it is past time. It is past time for all people of goodwill to do everything in their collective power to make our new path one that recognizes the deep interdependence between humanity's future and the health of our natural systems. It is said that McGill still considers itself a world-class institution of scientific and intellectual leadership. Is their anti-divestment position a position of scientific leadership? No. Is it a position of moral and ethical leadership?
No!
Is it a position of generational leadership?
No!
McGill's anti-divestment position fails on all possible grounds: scientific, ethical, and even financial. I understand that McGill has lost $43 million on its fossil fuel investments since this movement began. I just read that this morning. As the Rockefeller Fund says, it makes little sense financially or ethically to continue holding investments in these companies. Last week, David Suzuki stated on the CBC that former Prime Minister Stephen Harper should be in jail. Should be in jail for his international obstruction of climate change legislation. I wonder what fate he would reserve for McGill's governors and their indefensible position on divestment. Their indefensible position on the future of our sacred planet. And the futures of our children and their children. Thank you very much.
Testing, testing. Next up, we have David Summerhays.
I'm really honored by the company that I'm in today. First of all, the 9 people who are sitting in James Admin. Can we get a round of applause for their hard work, sacrifice? Thank you so much for everything you've done. And I'm in very illustrious company with the people returning their diplomas. Really honored. Yeah, please. I'm really honored to be among them today. Well, I guess I just had, people have really summarized why I'm doing this. I guess I just had 2 brief stories. The first is, well, my mom is the type of person to worry, okay? So you say, I'm giving back my diploma, and she'll find a reason to worry about that. She'll say, what about going across the border? What about this? What about that, right? What if you want to go there? What if you, okay. And I was really struck by the message that I received from her yesterday. And it just said, you know, you really liked McGill, and this is sad. And that was it. And to me, I was struck by that message. I really knew. She went, yeah, okay. There's a risk, you don't have everything figured out maybe, or maybe it doesn't matter, but this is right. And this is just a time to do things, and we don't know all the answers, and we don't know where things are going, but it's time to take those kind of steps. Even in this little way, which is almost entirely symbolic, maybe not. But that's not what McGill did, right? They said, we can't figure it out, therefore, let's just keep doing things the way we do them. And that's wrong. And that's why we're here today. The second story is that I just want to tell you I want to say, for me, this is the story that is what McGill could be. Right before I graduated, I think I lost my student ID or something, and so I had to go into James Admin and have it replace some financial thing. And so I was talking to a lady at the front desk, and she was crying. And I said, is everything okay? And she was watching people graduate on the live screen. Like there's some kind of feed. And she just said, every year I watch all of you graduate, and I'm so proud of all of you. And I was like, I don't know you. Like you're so proud of me. Like I'm about to graduate, and you'll probably cry about it. You know? And I was super touched. I was like, who is this lady? She must talk to a zillion students every year. You know, for me, that's what McGill could be. And when I talk about returning my beautiful diploma, which I worked very hard for, you know, that's my intention. Is I want McGill to embody that spirit. It's not with this decision that it's making. We all know that, and I think we've won the argument. And I know people, you know, no institution is rational. We're not. It's not if you make the right arguments that institutions will change. But we've won the argument, and so today, so today I'm giving this back. Thank you for being here and witnessing this.
Well, hello everyone. This is so emotional. My name is Christian Scott Martone. I did my master's in sociology. I graduated like in 2012-ish. During my first day of school, actually, I also did my bachelor's in this school. The current principal, it was someone else back then, said, "You are the best of the best. You are the best in Canada. That's why you're." We all know that it's really hard to get to this school. And I think that everyone that is actually here is giving the best of themselves. We're here because we care about this institution. Otherwise, we just wouldn't really care and not be here, right? So this is a piece of paper with Latin words with a really nice red stamp. It's actually really, really nice. Like I wanted to keep it, but I think it's more important to give it. This paper is a symbol. It's a symbol of years and years of stress, of time, and of money, of lost opportunities, of skin rashes, of mental health risk, of many things. And it's giving this paper to divest McGill for them to be returned to the university. It's also a symbol. It's a very strong symbol. Also the security protocol and the extra man hours of security guards and those fences that are there even though there's no snow and ice in the rooftop are also symbols. We know that. We all know that. I think that the Latin motto of McGill is "Grandescunt auta labora." Through great work comes great success. And the best McGill has definitely done that. These students are risking it. Like for me as an alumni, the easiest thing to do is like, hey, take this back. This is the piece of paper. Like I'm not losing my degree. But these people are actually like facing consequences, like legal, academic, mental, and physical health consequences. So I think that we should all acknowledge that. Yeah, definitely. And yeah, like I didn't know that we were supposed to say something, so I came up with this right now. Yeah, so it's like a big shout out to everyone. Like just a big shout out to everyone. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Danji Buckmore. It says Francis Buckmore on the paper here. I'm also yeah, it's kind of, I'm in the point in the line when like a lot of really good stuff has been said, and it's like I think the point that was just made a couple people in front of me is the one I feel most strongly too, which is that the argument here really has been won. Like I spent a week up in that building too a few years ago, and it was a different. I was happy to spend the night here last night too, in support of others doing it. Because the moment here is the there's a rising momentum here in that feels also quite different from that last round. And the arguments, reading the arguments back and forth on the internet like I have been obsessively all week is also a different feeling than the last time around. And I think that when you look at what's being said on both sides, there's like a very clear amount of reasonable, like very, very reasonable opinion that's congealing around a decision that McGill is just continuing to bury its head in the sand about, bury its head in some tarry sands about, perhaps. And in that sense, I think like the momentum that's being piled on top of every single action that's been mounted this week here around Community Square here by Divest McGill is a really, really fantastic effort, and I want to thank and commend everybody working on that for being so good. There they go, off into the wind. For being so strategically smart about piling these things on top of each other and culminating in this moment right now here. I'm very proud to add my little sliver to the pile as we pile them higher and see where we can get. So thanks everyone for being part of this, and let's continue.
My name is Nagme Sabet, and look, I thought we will have a hat. Who would keep this? It's from 1988 when I graduated. I have a message to two individuals today, and thank you for being here to hear it. His Excellency, the Right Honorable David Johnston, the Governor General of Canada. I received this from your hands when you were the principal of McGill. Come and see what has happened to McGill, what it has been reduced to. I'm sorry to give this back. I'm sorry to give this back. However, there are people you are sending to Paris. The heads of states are going there. I don't think McGill knows why they were there. I graduated from biochemistry. And if they need some research on what the effects of fossil fuel is and what it can do, I'd be happy to forward some research to McGill. But if they like, maybe they read newspapers, pick up a newspaper. Or yesterday, was it CBC was covering the life of Margie Wood at Fort McMurray? Ask her if her life has been touched. The CBC covered it. I don't know. Do you watch TV? But this message now is for Madame Fortier. I graduated from biochemistry, went on to work in pharmaceutical company. Long story made short, I ended up in the financial industry, and now I am a portfolio manager at the Scotia Bank. It gets better. Listen to this. A client of mine last year approached me, like many have done in the past. I would like to donate $2 million to McGill. I said, that's wonderful. I have a special space in McGill for me, in my heart for McGill. We called McGill. We met with the specific department to receive the $2 million. Although the client said, I would rather you manage it and just send the returns, because I've heard their endowment funds have been going down because of some bad investments. I said, I don't invest their endowment fund, although I'd be happy to advise them, free of charge. But But we had meetings, and the meetings went on seriously until we got to the point that we were ready to sign documents, and a representative of the department, which we met with, is here. I'm not going to name names, and I will keep my client's identity anonymous as it was his wish. However, when we received the famous email from you, Madame Fortier, as an alumni received it, I informed my client. And we are very sorry to say we are not going to contribute the $2 million to McGill anymore. Unless you reverse your decision. Listen, I know that this decision was not done out of ignorance. God, I hope it wasn't. This is an educational institution, after all. I think it is being done because of irresponsibility. What cause you are serving, which lobby you are protecting, I don't know. But I know one thing, being in the financial industry. The funds that will not come to McGill will hurt. And if I advised one client not to do this, I'm sorry to tell you, I have many clients and millions of dollars under my management. We don't speak loudly. I'm so sorry I'm taking from your time, but allow me, indulge me. We do not speak loudly. We do not occupy buildings as these courageous people do. But we speak a language that you will understand very soon. Here you go, Madame Fortier.
Hi, my name is Jen Gabi. I graduated from the McGill School of the Environment in 2014. During my years with the MSc, I learned from many different really smart, really great profs in all kinds of different disciplines, many things, but it created one clear picture of what needs to be done in order to avert disastrous climate change. And now, seeing what's going on, I have a clear sense that this institution is broken if their decision making is not based in the science and the research findings going on at this university. And therefore, I return my diploma.
Hi, I'll keep mine short and quote Ecuadorian biologist Esperanza Martinez. Step 1 for getting out of a hole, stop digging.
Next up we have a professor from McGill, Professor Sean Lovejoy.
I guess I'm a bit disturbed by the incredible show here, and the emotion is hard just want to say it's been exactly 40 years this year that I started my association with McGill. I obtained my PhD in '81, and I've been a professor for over 30 years. I have amazing colleagues. I'm surrounded by motivated and talented students, and I enjoy excellent working conditions, so why am I returning my diploma? I had a more lengthy thing prepared, but I'll cut to the chase. I'm handing back my diploma because the Board of Governors, the self-appointed body that names the principal and decides McGill policy, has gone too far. It has denied that global warming is a grave social injury. It has parroted the fossil fuel companies and blamed the end users. We, not they, are the problems. Shame. Where we document the industry's duplicitous practices and ruinous ambitions, the governors see only benefits. While McGill educates young people to respect and to nurture civilization, they bankroll its destruction. I'm giving back my diploma in solidarity with those courageous students who are resisting. I'm giving it back so there will be a future for my children. Thank you.
So the next couple of diplomas that we have are from alumni who mailed them to us because they were unable to come in person. So we have proxies here, some of which received a short speech to share with you. So first up, we have Guillaume representing Helen Quigley.
Hello, everyone. So I'm just going to read her speech. Yeah. McGill University has failed its citizens and the citizens of the world. It has chosen to shirk its moral duty and let others take responsibility of mitigating climate change. I do not see this as providing service to society, as the university's mission statement declares. I am not proud of my alma mater and its divestment decision. It's easy to be a follower, but demonstrating the foresight, initiative, and strength to be a leader shows far more courage. Thank you.
Hello, I have Louise Moran's diploma. Louise graduated in 2011 with a PhD in philosophy. Louise's statement is, I am profoundly sad to see that brilliant minds like McGill governors are too involved with short-term financial interests to acknowledge the severity of the multiple crises that we are facing as a human species, with climatic changes and the urgency to decarbonize our economy. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I'm a little shaky because I just came down from up there. So I actually have two of my own diplomas from McGill, and I'm working on a third. But the first one I couldn't find. The second one I never bothered picking up. So, in turn I'll be returning my best friend since we were 10 years old, Eli Oda Shiner's diploma. He graduated from psychology in 2012, and he had a very simple message: fuck the patriarchy.
It's good? Oh yeah, thanks. I'm going to be returning Curtis Murphy's BA in Religious Studies, and he said, I value my diploma from McGill, but I value a healthy planet more. I'm proud to support Divest McGill.
Hi everyone, I'm returning my good friend Martin Lukach's diploma. He writes, McGill's fossil fuel investments binds the university to an indefensible contradiction, betting their prestige on preparing young people for the world while betting their dollars on making it uninhabitable. It's time to divest. I also wanted to say, so I myself, and I was a student, I was a staff member at McGill, I am now an alumni, I was also part of the original crew of Divest McGill young people, and this is fucking beautiful. This is sustainable organizing. This is the organizing that makes itself perpetuate. This is a movement that builds momentum, that talks about love, that talks about training each other, that talks about getting educated and talking to people around you. And I hope with all of my heart that this movement continues way beyond the divestment movement, because climate justice is an issue that touches on so many parts of our world. And so I encourage you I really encourage you to take everything that you're learning, all of the energy that you're getting, all of the relationships and friendships and moments that you're getting here, and bringing it out in the world. This is where the education happens. This is where McGill is at its finest. Keep on pushing. Fuck the patriarchy. Best of luck to Divest McGill.
So that's it for today, although, you know, if McGill doesn't divest, this might become an annual ceremony, just like graduations. So I think it would be wonderful to have all the alumni together, standing around the empty chairs, so we could get lots of pictures of that, or maybe with a nicer background, I don't know, but it would be great. I mean, there was also the suggestion to go to the arts building, but I don't want to break up this wonderful vibe here. I guess if anyone would like to share any words about how they feel about today, if any of the alumni would like to come back while the pictures are being taken, we can have more speakers. But thank you all for coming.
I'd like to share a couple of words. I'm so proud of the work that we've done here. I'm so proud of all the moments that we've shared, all the vigils, all the songs we've sung, all the people that have taken the time to show their support, to learn about what we're doing, and to take a stand against an administration that holds itself unaccountable to our community, that holds its governance structures completely unaccountable to the will of our students, of our staff, of our faculty, and of our alumni. And I just wanted to say again, thank you to everybody here who's come out to support. And I just would like to remind the Board of Governors that I'll see you guys next year. So let's make it happen.
Do you need a closing? Kristen, do you need a closing?
Yeah, I think we can actually.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Okay, closing chat. Alright, we're gonna do a closing chat. Repeat, ready? I believe! I believe! I believe that! I believe that! I believe that we! I believe that we! I believe that we will! I believe that we will! I believe that we it's good. Good. Oh my gosh. You are amazing. Holy cow.
We have a speaker who'd like to share something with you if you'd like to stick around a little bit longer. Okay. I also wanted to say for all of the alumni that have returned their degrees, and also for other people who'd like to hang out and chat about everything, we're having a small reception, wine and cheese, at Ecole in the living room, so we'll go there together.
What's the address?
Address
of Ecole? 3559.
3559 University, but we'll all go there together. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. Okay. Hi. Can you hear me? Is that okay? Well, I just wanted to say thank you on behalf of me and my friends from the Canadian Arctic. I'm from the Northwest Territories, and the Northwest Territories is warming faster than any place in the world. Already average temperatures have risen about 4 degrees, and I can tell you that there is severe, grave social injury caused by fossil fuels. There is severe, grave social injury caused by fossil fuels. The people in the Canadian Arctic are not considered when people think of Canada. Most people think Canada only exists within 200 kilometers of the US border, and we do not tend to be the largest creators of carbon dioxide emissions, and yet people in the Arctic, circumpolar Arctic, suffer immensely for the consequences of the actions of others. As I told Suzanne Fortier, carbon emissions have changed the environment so much where I'm from. The color of fish has changed from a healthy pink to a sickly yellow. Houses fall off of the stilts that they are built on the permafrost onto rivers as permafrost melts. Rivers move 30 feet in the middle of the night. The ice melts and hunting grounds are no longer available to people who rely on country foods for their food security and cultural practices. There are severe consequences for people who can be very vulnerable because of systemic discrimination and disadvantage. So thank you, Divest, for standing with people who are so often forgotten. Thank you.
Hey, just wanted to say I'm really proud of everyone who returned their diplomas. It's a very brave thing to do, so just like another round of applause for that would be really cool. So I want to read a poem that I wrote about climate change. It was written a long time ago, but it's getting more and more relevant, unfortunately. And it's quite long, so I appreciate your bearing with me. We hear the world howling up through the empty spaces in our lives and core shaking, the holes in our bodies, which each breath whistling and never a melody, the toneless note of the lonely living in the growing, groaning gap between ghettos and gated communities. We witness everywhere the column temples of greenback cash paper rustling from the inside hollows, and the insane weavings of those with wealth and those without wealth, the net of debt snares, financial flies, fleeing fees, struggling and wings beating, dreams disappearing down big bank drain pipes, a generation renting their own very lives about to be evicted, mummified and sobs smothered in red tape reels. We hear the snow falling silent over this world off kilter, a blizzard of white ignorance falling with talk of cold purity, a blurring of hunger, homelessness, and broken fingernails, a row of sharpened teeth and closing, shivering now on the beach, the water, the pointed fence tops making wet ribbons of the brown flesh of the migrants, flecks of blood dotting the acidic shores of this new landscape, and the foundered hopes of the displaced lying breathless in iron hulls at ocean bottom. We see the backpacks, old balloons, Velcro running shoes scattered among the twisted rubble of tofu schools, and wailing widows and brothers and grandparents knowing nothing but lost names and burial. Wailing faces projected on choked, coughing coal clouds over Beijing high-rises, with mouths mass breathing own blackened and blue CO2 back down throat up again regurgitated air medical rubber horror boxes, wailing all muffled broken ugliness unheard through thick, sick smog. We are the children of the evil ones, piloting poisonous pilgrimages to glassy stone testaments, swarming to swollen empires erected atop groves of ancient peoples clear-cut, tips of towers touting the force of the phallic faction of mankind, coming crosses, the ejaculate of the Iglesias, bold and bloody and nonsense together, kneeling and praying, gazing upward at so many veiny, blinking steeples and our visions of nothing, beacons of nothing, no longer shouting God nor country, but progress. We march backward along the old bloody warpaths, ears deaf to hysterical historical hypocrisies and moral bureaucracies, deaf to the ghostly whispers justifying any and everything, deaf to the notes of foreign languages, for we cut out the tongues of the speakers, deaf to the screams of senselessness and the crying of stagnant countries, deaf to the shattering rapes by the puppet of our fathers. Too lost in brute dreams squashed heavy in 18-year-old eyelids, dreams of sex and invincibility and the life immortal of statues, fueled by the ferment of too much early heartbreak left rotting in darkened basements and in moldy locker rooms and in exploded city blocks. Killing across the world who elsewhere run under other colors, asking help of the eagles and the feeling of 10 million eyes watching after, under the grotesque, groping gaze, dissected, surveilled under hot lights, all their white tables and all grief gone unanswered and always gnawing, gnawing, gnawing. We feel in our bones the weariness of weariness, wishing to destroy this nothing and kill this death. Feeling the nausea in our stomachs, grinding clenched jaw against better instincts, sleeping like storms, kicking feet in muddy complacency, clinging to the paralysis security blanket of apathy, swirling night terrors, ripping but quick forgotten, rising again unchanged as another gray dawn breaks over death. Uncaring, dull hearts beating low and hollow, eating inert isolation in echoing arteries, pining secretly for God in silence and on sidewalks and subways, seeking to chip the rust from our hearts which leak and require recharging, oozing acid words of irony and the cud-chewing of ideas, recycling the castrated creativity of mental disease gone viral, seeking to escape the twisted metal palace and its tin-peppered toy soldiers, and submission to the all-consuming internal bleeding of ribs, baton broken, and imprisoned in open air by the never-sleeping eyes faceless, seeking a clearing in the forest of machinery and its buzzsaw cicadas, the stark gilded girders groaning against orange-gray sky starless, the geometric branching of constructions constricting and clustered, seeking shelter from the blinding numb neon canopy and its false promises of fulfillment, lost in luxury and lust without love and chasing after glittering soap bubbles, dogs scratching in the dirt, seeking the support of bones from another body, seeking a refuge among problems swept away in alleyways and gone into gutter grime, the stench of misery rising, tarps shining black plastic alongside trash people moaning, and the issue of how do you recycle a human soul. We know of the lives being meantime measured and cut, suspended over fluorescent reflecting lacquered gallows, feet dangling from boardroom rafters, erected mausoleums and podium coliseums where the snakes posture high and vote on how to consume themselves. We choke on the spinning tails of these cannibals, and across countries hear the shaking, frothing, death rattle fever of the venom. Our frightened eyes witness the glisten of scales under cufflinks, the pearls hiding pale necks with veins of frozen blood. As they, mad captains, steer into black waters, a crackling St. Elmo's fire lights the mass in called prophecy. The end of history, illusions of fire lightning on dark salt sea, waves of angered isolation, wrought wood, gull cry, sky, sweeping rush of water, choke throat burning worse than fire, worse than flaming dreams and smoke. Hell's helm, shadow cruise, manic men laugh as we swing, chatter, and flung into the water. All of us mutineers, refugees of time, and of dinosaur dust skies in this new volcanic ice age, racing to swallow this earth and eat everything on it. And meanwhile, through all this noise, the betrayed planet, all the same way, turns us toward the flames, unflinching. Thanks.
Thank you. That was so evocative and really well-placed boardroom thing. Anyways, we can all go to the little reception in École. So if you don't know where that is, just follow the crowd and maybe we can have someone stay and watch the TEDs.
How much?